everybody, it's me, Carrie, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Here, totally still setting everything up. I thought I was so organized, and then, I look down and go, oops, nope, I'm not. So, today, I am going to show, for some of you who are a little bit crazed already about your holiday card making, I wanted to give you a super simple card that you could make today. Hang on, I'm trying to get my system so I can see you. I don't know what's going on. There it is, yay. So, I don't see anybody on yet, but hopefully a few of you will pop on. Oh, somebody just popped on. Say hello. So, before we get started, while we wait for a couple more people, I want to say, sorry about that giant breast shot I just did. Jeez. It's all part of my life. Okay. I want to ask for prayers. My daughter, who you all know is very not healthy, she has a lot of health issues, has COVID, which is not good for her health situation. So please keep her in your prayers. I would appreciate it. Also, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying all the silly Halloween-y stuff out there. I'm not a big Halloween, kind of like, I don't really send Halloween cards except to my kids, but I think these memes are pretty funny. So I'm hoping you're enjoying them. All right, so today we are going to, let me put my rings back on. I always forget that I take them off so often. Okay, we are going to be playing with partially the Merry and Bright. I'm going to be using a couple of stamps and some of the dies. We're going to be using the 2-inch circle punch. This is available online. As far as I know, it's still there. I did not check 5 minutes ago, so who knows. But I'm pretty sure it is. So we're going to be using that, but any circle punch will do for this card. I am going to be, of course, I'm going to be using my paper trimmer. The Designer Series paper I am using is the Joyful 12 by 12. I'm going to be using some pieces out of this and out of our gold foil. This is in the mini, this is in the annual. But if you have, this will work with whatever. You don't have to use shiny. I'm using shiny. But, and it's a good way to use up like any leftover holiday scraps that you have that will fit the size of your punch. Because if you decide you want to make a bunch of this simple card, you can do it differently than I did, and you can use up a lot of your stuff. So actually, I'm not sure I'm going to need that yet. So I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to be using my mini cut and emboss machine. And I am going to be doing some wet embossing today. But I wanted to show you, I've already cut out 2 of these. You can see that. But this is the little holder for holiday ornaments that is right here. There's 2 of them. This one is the plain square, and you get 2 of each, which is really nice. I mean, these dies, I like how they did this. They gave you, and this is bundled together, they gave you 2 of each of the bulbs and 2 of the different, I already cut out 2, so I'm using this one. But see, this one has like the scrolly, like screw lines in it, but because of the paper that I'm using, which comes from that same Joyful set, I thought this is wood grain, and I thought it was close enough to kind of look like the wood grain. So I'm going to set this on here, and I'm going to put it in place so that I have wood grain showing, like so. So it kind of looks like it's being screwed in. You can use the other one too, obviously, but I just chose to do it this way just to be more fun. All right. If you do not have the mini cut and emboss machine or the regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, remember we have that awesome kit special right now that you can then get either of them free in your kit, depending on which of the kits that you choose. I will be talking about it later, but remember, this is going to expire next week. So if you've even remotely been thinking about how you would like to do what I do, or you want to buy at a discount, or you just want to get this awesome deal, remember, you are not obligated to sell and or purchase anything beyond your kit. So message me, comment below, email me. Y'all know the drill on how to contact me, I hope. MemoryINKers@gmail.com. You can go right to MemoryINKers.com, my Stampin' Up! Website, and just sign up. Just make sure you're signed up with me, because you know the internet sometimes bounces you around. So, okay. So, here we go. Now, I've cut out three. I have cut out 3 of these little ornament toppers. Oops. There we go. 3 of them. See, doesn't that look like little screw thingies? And I thought because I cut it out of the designer series paper, they wouldn't be all exactly alike. And I kind of liked that idea. Okay, so I've got those. Now, I am going to use the 2-inch punch, and I'm going to use different colors of designer series paper to make my ornaments. So I am going to punch out this green one and this red one. Now I'm turning these over so that the cutting blades go down into the side that's going to be sticking up. You know, sometimes when you cut, you get kind of a cup in, shape at the cut line. So I wanted to be sure that it was the pretty side that was getting it. So now I have these 2, and I considered cutting one out of the wood grain, which is right here. But I decided I didn't want to do that. This, I've cut my background piece already, right here. This is going to be my background piece. So what do I do? Well, I had cut the gold foil, which I had told you. I'm hoping I'm not making myself lose pieces as I do this. So I have this gold foil, and that's going to be the 3rd one, because you're not going to see it because it's going to be covered. So the gold foil is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4, standard size, right? This designer series paper is cut 5 inches by 3 3/4, so it'll mat really pretty, right? And then these are 2-inch circle punches. So I want to do a 2-inch circle punch on here too, but I want to emboss on it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that embossing on this kind of stuff can be a little scary. And I want to be sure that I can get it into my punch far enough to punch. So what I'm doing is I'm going to start right here. I'm going to slide it out a little bit so that I can see. And I made a little pencil line. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's almost like an indent. I think you guys can see that. Thank you for the prayers. I appreciate it. I don't know why I'm not seeing them on this. It's so weird. I don't see them till I stand up. So thank you, Linda. Okay, so now I have that little score line, and I know I can go a little bit above that. So this was cut out with just some regular paper, but I want to know about where I'm going. So this isn't going to show, or it shouldn't show when I cut it out, but I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can very easily see where my circle is. So now I am going to take my embossing buddy, and I am going to just powder this thing up. There we go. So do y'all know what the embossing buddy does? It kind of keeps the embossing powder from sticking where you don't want it to stick. So that's what that is for. I'm going to grab my foam mat. And now I've got the words Merry and Christmas that are right here from the Merry and Bright stamp set. and my Versamark ink. Now this is going to take a minute to emboss, so I'm going to apologize now for the noise. Now Christmas is the largest word, and I know that it just barely fits. So I've inked that up, and I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I have that. Now I want to ink up the Mary. And let's all hold our breath, because you know Carrie and straight lines do not necessarily go together. But we're going to try. Okay, so that should be on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go dip it in my white embossing powder, and then I'm going to emboss it. I should pull these out. Oh, I should show you guys. These are those, you know, those little drawer thingies you can buy at Target and everywhere. That's what I keep my embossing powder in, because even though I have the little embossing buddy pail, I don't use it very often. Oh, see, now that is off a little bit, so I'm a little concerned when I go to punch this that I might see those lines, but I'll deal with it. All right. Now I'm going to emboss it. This is going to probably be a little bit noisy. Oops. I see where I need to tap it a little bit. Can you see my S? It's like it's got a little too much in there. So I'm gonna attempt a state of doctoring, but I am not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. Apparently I'm going to play one on my video, though. Okay, so my S in my Christmas is going to come out really not good. Oh, God, it's going to be very sad. But I'm going to do it anyway, you guys. I'm going to do it anyway. So, I don't know why the foil seems to take longer, but it does seem to. And it's also in my basement. The lighting doesn't necessarily make it super easy for me to see when it starts to emboss. So forgive me, this might take me a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Hope you're all doing well. I do have to tell you, my son and I have a date on Friday. We are going to see the movie that probably scared the bejeebers out of me more than anything when I was young. Night of the Living Dead. We're going to, it's been on TV, I know, like a million times. We're going to see it in the theater, and I don't think I've ever seen it in the theater. Look at how horrible that S looks. That is terrible. I'm going to see if I can fix that. I think that I've got it dry, but let me see. Let me see if I can do anything with my awesome little take your pick tool here and make it look a little nicer. I don't know. Not good. It's not good, you guys. So I have done something else. I actually, look at how beautifully I embossed it before. It is beautiful. So I may have to do something with that to make it better. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to punch it out. And because I made that little bitty error there, I am going to have a little bit of a line, but that's okay. Okay, so, excuse me. So now I have all my pieces, and this is what we're going to do. Now this does happen when you emboss. Sometimes the foil paper will want to be warpy, but that's okay. So I'm using a piece of thick basic white, which I scored at 5.5, and it's cut at 4 1/4, and then it's the 11 inches. So this is a little different size. Some people call this the hamburger version, or landscape, if you want to be like correct. But I've heard them called hamburger folds and hot dog folds. You guys probably have too. I have some glue stuck to my fingers. There we go. All right, so now this is going to get this adhered to it. And because it is the foil, I am going to be a little scary. You know I love my liquid glue. And I am going to use the the Stamp and Seal Plus. Oh my gosh. And see, I messed it up. There we go. It fixed itself. Yay. All right. So now I have to try to set this as perfectly as I can. Perfection is overrated. Nobody breathe. It's close enough for me. Okay, so now when I glue this down, I'm going to want to make sure I put a lot of adhesive on the back, but I'm not ready to do that yet. So I am going to add my little ornaments, and I am going to try to fix this Merry Christmas, because it's just not right that that S looks just terrible, and this one is so pretty. So I'm just going to take my paper snips. This was not planned. Don't go thinking that I thought this ahead. I did not. I really did not. And I'm going to trim it. And I don't do that great with hand trimming. I like, you know, some people really like to fussy cut. I am not one of those. I do it, and every now and then, if it's a simple enough design, I don't mind doing it, like while I'm watching TV or something. But in general, I'm not a real fan of the fussy cut. How about you? Anybody in there really into it? I know some of you are. Some of you really like to fussy cut. I like the results of fussy cutting, like if you're cutting out flowers from designer series paper or something. I love the way that looks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover these up so that it's not as messy looking as it was. So I'm again going to use my Stamp and Seal Plus. Okay. And I'm going to pull this towards my face, you guys, so I can see a little bit better. There we go. So it has a tiny little bit of dimension. Apparently I don't have enough on here. Let me try that again. It's probably not happy that it not only has to stick to metallic, but it has to stick to embossing. So this might take, you know, you might need to really press it in there to get it to do what you want it to do. Okay. I should have my silicone mat here, right? I know, you guys. But it was supposed to work when I embossed it. It was supposed to. I almost put the Mary upside down. That would be bad. Okay, so saved, sort of, kind of. Close enough, I think. Let me look here. It's not perfect, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take these little ornament toppers, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of these as well. And make sure your notes are going the way you want to. I am not musically inclined, but I don't know. I don't know. See, some are upside down, some are the other way. I don't know. Who knows about that stuff? I think this is correct because those, I think, go at the top. So I'm going to set this right there on that one. Thank goodness the green one doesn't care. It's not going to matter what way I do it, right? Whew. Too much thinking for me on a Tuesday morning. I do think, though, that I want this kind of on the diagonal design, not necessarily like uppy downies. Don't you love my terminology, uppy downies? And here's the last one. So remember, I'm doing this with particular designer series paper that's foiled, which I think is kind of pretty, but you certainly do not have to do it. There's so many. You can do it with cardstock. I mean, you could just do it with plain cardstock. Okay, so before I put these on, I am going to use some of the Elegant Trim in Gold. Now, I don't really know how much I need yet. And I don't mind that it's like curly loopy. I kind of actually like that. So I am going to go through the little holes here. And I know I want this one in the center. And then the red. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave them with a lot of ribbon, a lot of this trim for now. And I am going to put some dimensionals on the back of each one. Here they are. And look, I grabbed my take your pick tool for something else, so I have it here. Yay! You all know how often I forget. Now, I want to put a dimensional up here that's going to grab both the little ornament topper, just so that it holds it in place. So I'm going to put 3 on each one at the top and kind of in a triangular shape. Not a perfect triangle, because then you're watching the wrong demonstrator. If you see someone doing the perfect, she ain't me. So I appreciate you guys watching my Facebook and later my YouTube, because this will get uploaded to YouTube after the fact. So, but if you want to watch me live, it's always on facebook.com/MemoryINKers. That is my Stampin' Up! Name. Sorta. That goes on something. Okay. So now I have all of these, and like I said, I know that I'm going to want the gold one in the center. So I am going to start with this musical notes ornament, and I am going to set it like that. And then I'm going to set this pretty dark green. I think it's garden green. It would be the official color. I didn't look, but I think it is. And I'm going to do that one kind of over like that. And then for the Merry Christmas, before I put it on, I'm going to twist the trim on purpose. So before I do that, where's the end? There's the end. I kind of like that it's got that loopy-doo in there. So this is where you start to play and get it the way you want it. Now, I usually use why can't I remember the name of it? The Stampin' Seal to hold my ribbon, but this trim, because of the way it is a little bit different. So I'm going to kind of make that loop right there, and then I'm going to pin it in place. Okay, and then I need something to hold that kind of in place, right? So we're going to see how it does with a glue dot. This is, you know, sometimes you don't have to do it this way. If you want them fast, just very quickly run the ribbon through it. But I want to, y'all remember this tip where you put a ribbon on there and it holds your cover in place. But, you know, it's fun to do it a little different. So I'm kind of trying to roll my glue dot so that I'm hoping you guys can see it, so that it's not like a perfect circle. And I'm going to see if I can get it to stick onto this trim in a way that I can kind of sort of hide it and get that fun circle. Now, it might be a little sticky there. If it is, I'm going to take my, when I'm done, I'm going to take my embossing buddy and I'll tap it so that it takes away the sticky, so that you can put it inside your card and it won't get stuck in your envelope, because I can see there's definitely adhesive there. Okay. Now oops, I should not have removed those backings just yet. So now I've got that little circle-y thing. So now I'm going to pull this one through and see what I can do about letting this one kind of go like so. Now I'm not going to bother gluing that one down. And then we're going to pull this one, and I think I can make this one stick if I kind of play with it a little bit. Let's see. It may not be quite as swirly, but I don't want it to go straight either, right? You want it to have some movement in it. So there we go. Now I can see it's got a little bit of swirly, not so much over here. So that's all right though, I think. Do I want to do something like that? No. So I'm just going to take this, flip it over, hold it in place, grab some more of my Scotch tape. Isn't it funny how so many of us call it Scotch tape? Because Scotch was the first ones who made it, right? But look, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? So now all I have to do is, now I can use my liquid glue. Yay! And I want to put a decent amount on it, because remember that the gold sort of wanted to go a little nutty because I embossed it. But you can see how you can do this card with pretty much any of your papers or card stocks. You don't have to make yours all gold and pretty. I want to make sure I'm opening it right. Okay. And then you can determine if you want to write a sentiment. I can see that I still didn't fold it right, so I'm going to have to do some trimming on this card. But I'm just going to hold it in place for a minute. You may, if your foil has buckled, you may want to set it like with a book or something on it, just to, you know, help it while it's drying to stay flat. But I do have stickiness there, and I don't want it to be there. So that's all it takes. And then you just brush it away. And now it's no longer sticky there. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? I hope you like it. I just thought it would be a fun and simple card for you guys to make. And again, all I used was designer series paper and a 2-inch punch. The dies from the Merry and Bright bundle. Can use either or. I hope I didn't lose that. Nope, I did not lose that die. Yay me. But anyway, super fun, super simple. This is even something you could do with your children or grandchildren, and they could make a beautiful card. Maybe they won't be able to loop it like that, but even without any cord whatsoever, or even if the cord just loosely ran through it, I think it would be just as pretty. So let me know if you like it. Please feel free to share my video with your friends. And if you want to go shopping, MemoryInkers.com is my Stampin' Up! Website. This is the hostess code for October 2023. F as in Frank, 2. Z as in zebra. Y as in yellow, 3, Q as in queen, A as in Adam, V as in Victor. I appreciate if you use that. So I hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful day. I'll keep y'all posted on my daughter's situation. I'm sure she'll be fine, but prayers are appreciated. All right, bye.